Tina koto, tina tato katoa. Honorable Minister David Parker, members of Parliament, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's my genuine honor to speak to you once again at the China Business Summit. My heartfelt thanks to New Zealand Inc. and the Auckland Business Chamber for inviting me to join you today. Since the last year's summit, the China-New Zealand relationship has grown significantly. And like all relationships, it has also experienced challenges. Thanks to the efforts by all the people supporting China-New Zealand relations, and with the integrity of our leaders, we have held the course and navigated the uncharted waters together. High-level exchanges give strategic direction to the relationship. For me, one of the defining images that shows this is that the Chinese leaders and Prime Minister Ardern standing together in the Great Hall of the People in Beijing. The warmth and friendship evident in the image speaks volumes about our shared determination to keep positive forward momentum in the relationship. During the Prime Minister's successful visit, our leaders agreed to strengthen China-New Zealand comprehensive strategic partnership, speed up negotiation to upgrade bilateral free trade agreement, provide a better operating environment for each other's companies, and deepen cooperation under the Belt and Road Initiative. We have also issued a joint statement on climate change. And we signed 4 new agreements to cooperate on taxation, agriculture, finance, and scientific research. All of these provide us with a clear strategic direction on which to work together practically and closely in new areas. Many of you know that Chinese people prefer to see things from a long-term perspective. This resonates well with the Maori proverb, without foresight or vision, people will be lost. In many ways, this proverb reflects the strength of China-New Zealand relationship, built on decades of forward-thinking, pragmatic actions, and bold ideas. Since the establishment of diplomatic relations, we've taken great strides to cooperate on many fields and have an impressive list of firsts among China's relations with developed countries. In the fast and ever-evolving world we find ourselves in, however, we cannot be complacent of what we have achieved. We need to look ahead, speed up our pace, seize new opportunities, and take concrete actions to turn them into benefits for both countries. Cooperation on Belt and Road is an opportunity for all. The BRI represents a path toward the opportunities. Simply put it, BRI is a framework for cooperation. Cooperation that makes a real difference in people's lives. Cooperation that generates high-quality development. Cooperation that builds global connectivity. Last month, Minister Parker joined 6,000 guests from 150 countries and 92 international organizations in Beijing for the second Belt and Road Forum for International Cooperation. They heard President Xi Jinping outline his vision for enhancing Belt and Road cooperation and building consensus among countries and organizations to make the initiative positive and meaningful for all involved. It would be hard to convey everything that is discussed in the forum. So today I'd like to highlight 4 things. First, our goal is to develop a high-quality cooperation under BRI. These are meaningful words. We need to pursue open, green, and clean cooperation, enhance high-standard cooperation to improve people's lives, and promote sustainable development. consult extensively, contribute jointly, and share benefits with all. Second, building connectivity at the global level involves physical infrastructure, but it is much more than that. From digital connectivity to institutional connectivity involving policies, rules, and standards. Third, BRI is already delivering concrete results. To date, nearly 300 agreements covering government-to-government cooperation, ICT platforms, enterprises, and more have been reached. Fourth, the cooperation framework has been significantly improved and enhanced. While more activity is happening at the bilateral or trilateral level, over 20 mechanisms and dialogues at multilateral level have been set up, covering specific fields like rail, ports, accounting and finance, customs, media, and more. These all point to cooperation under the framework of BRI, becoming deeper and more constructive every day. President Xi has emphasized that while BRI is an idea of China's origin, its benefit will be shared by the world, including New Zealand. Now, New Zealand and BRI. So how can New Zealand play a role? I mentioned earlier, BRI is a framework for cooperation. It's also cooperation that needs New Zealand's ideas, New Zealand's creativity, and New Zealand's energy. After all, China and New Zealand are highly complementary in terms of our economies and skill sets. New Zealand's own development strategy can only benefit from the many natural points of cooperation that exist under the BRI. Take aviation as an example. Direct flights between New Zealand and major cities in China have surged in recent years, bringing with them greater exchanges in people, capital, and trade. We should see these as early results of better connectivity under BRI, and think about how to extend these results into new areas of potential connectivity, into policy and trade, infrastructure, finance, people-to-people ties, and others. We can work together to push forward negotiations on the Regional Comprehensive Economic Partnership, the RCEP, make the most of bilateral financial dialogue, and explore new ideas like making New Zealand a hub for air and sea transportation between Asia and South America. We can leverage events like Second China International Import Expo to promote more local Kiwi products in the Chinese market. We can find ways to further enhance exchanges and cooperation in education, culture, and tourism. New Zealand is a country of big, innovative ideas, and BRI is a framework for rich and untapped opportunities. That's why it's exciting to see the New Zealand government engaging in the initiative. Minister Parker's recent comments that BRI is a way to deepen New Zealand's relationship with China pointed the way to future opportunities that all of us should be excited about. Mutual understanding and trust serves as the bedrock of our bilateral relations. This year also marks the 70th anniversary of the founding of the People's Republic of China. During the last 7 decades, the Chinese people, through our own cultural tradition, have worked to develop our country into a way that aligns with our specific conditions and interests. Socialism with Chinese characteristics is a historical choice made by the Chinese people. Our goal is to create better standards of living, greater happiness for the Chinese people, and realize the great rejuvenation for the Chinese nation. At the same time, we work and advocate for a community with a shared future for the mankind. We know the most fundamental precondition for this vision is peace and development. And this is why China always commits to building global peace, contributing to global development, and upholding the international order. The history of China-New Zealand relationship has proven that no matter how international or domestic situation changes, mutual benefit is the nature of our cooperation, and mutual respect, the readiness to seek common ground while appropriately handle differences are the key to success. We hope New Zealand will continue to respect the development path we have chosen and view China's development and international role in a positive way, and we hope that all Chinese enterprises operating in New Zealand will be treated in a fair, transparent, and unbiased way. As Prime Minister Ardern noted in Beijing, our relationship is too long, too great in history, and has a layer of depth in it. In response, President Xi reiterated that China sees New Zealand as a sincere friend and cooperation partner. I heard he also mentioned our many firsts and told the Prime Minister he would like to see them more. In closing, I encourage all of you here to keep this thought in mind throughout the summit today. In a room of so many business people, entrepreneurs, officials, academics, and others dedicated to building China-New Zealand relations, the next first may well be right in front of us. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Ambassador, for your speech and for setting the scene there for the opportunities that exist between our two countries. Fran O'Sullivan will now introduce the next session. I invite her to the stage.